You know Bitcoin is digital money, but what if I told you there's a cryptocurrency that's like having the entire internet running on a blockchain? Meet Ethereum, and it's changing everything from banking to art to how we organize companies. If Bitcoin is like digital cash, then Ethereum is like a digital Swiss Army knife. It does money, sure, but it also does contracts, applications, and about a dozen other things we're still figuring out. I'm Walter Ledger, and today we're diving beyond Bitcoin into the cryptocurrency that might actually be more relevant to your daily life than you think. Let's start with what we know. Bitcoin was designed to do one thing exceptionally well: be digital money. It's like a really secure global piggy bank that no government controls. Every Bitcoin transaction is essentially saying, take X amount from person A and give it to person B. Simple, elegant, and revolutionary. But Ethereum? Well, a 19-year-old Russian-Canadian programmer named Vitalik Buterin looked at Bitcoin back in 2013 and essentially said, this is great for sending money, but what if we could do everything on a blockchain? So he created Ethereum, designed from the ground up to be what computer folks call programmable. Think of it this way. If Bitcoin is like a very sophisticated calculator that's really good at keeping track of who owns what, then Ethereum is like a computer that can run any program you want. It just happens to also be really good at handling money. The key innovation Buterin introduced was something called smart contracts. And no, these aren't contracts that went to law school. They're computer programs that automatically execute agreements when certain conditions are met. Let me give you a simple example that might make this clearer. Let's say you want to sell your car. With traditional methods, you'd need to advertise it, meet with potential buyers, handle the paperwork, transfer the title, and receive payment. With a smart contract on Ethereum, you could potentially set up a program that says, when someone sends me $15,000 in digital currency, automatically transfer the digital ownership certificate of my car to them. The contract sits there, patiently waiting, and when the conditions are met, boom, the transaction happens automatically. No paperwork, no bank, no waiting for checks to clear. But here's where it gets really interesting. Ethereum is powering entire new industries. DeFi, banking without banks. You can lend money and earn interest, borrow funds, or trade currencies 24/7. All without a bank president, loan officer, or branch manager. The computer code handles everything. NFTs, digital ownership. Beyond expensive digital art, we're talking about concert tickets that can't be counterfeited, digital property deeds, gaming items you truly own and can trade, and membership credentials for clubs and organizations. Supply chain management. Companies are using Ethereum smart contracts to track products from manufacture to delivery. When your organic coffee claims to be ethically sourced, there could be an Ethereum smart contract tracking every step of its journey from farm to your cup, with automatic payments to farmers when delivery milestones are met. Now, one of the biggest criticisms of early cryptocurrencies was their environmental impact. Bitcoin still uses enormous amounts of energy, but Ethereum made a dramatic change in 2022. They switched from an energy-intensive system called proof of work to a much more efficient one called proof of stake. This change reduced Ethereum's energy consumption by over 99%. To put that in perspective, it's like if every car in America suddenly became 99% more fuel efficient overnight. But that's not all. Unlike Bitcoin, which can handle about 7 transactions per second, Ethereum is constantly being upgraded for speed and capability. Recent upgrades in 2024 and 2025, including something called the Pectra upgrade, have dramatically improved the network's capacity. And here's the kicker. Ethereum isn't just handling money. It's running contracts, applications, entire financial systems, games, digital art markets, and things we haven't even invented yet. We're not talking about a better mousetrap here. We're talking about building an entirely different kind of house. So what's actually being built on this thing? Let me show you some real-world applications that might surprise you. Decentralized finance is the big one. Remember when banking meant driving to a physical building, waiting in line and hoping the teller was having a good day? Well, Ethereum has spawned an entire parallel financial system called DeFi. On Ethereum right now, you can earn interest rates that would make your bank jealous, get loans using your cryptocurrency as collateral, and trade currencies around the clock without a broker, all handled by smart contracts. But it goes way beyond finance. We're seeing DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. Think of it like a club where all the rules are written in unbreakable computer code, and every decision is made by member vote, with the results automatically implemented. No traditional management structure needed. Digital identity. Instead of Facebook or Google controlling your personal data, imagine owning and controlling it yourself, deciding exactly who gets access to what information. Gaming. We're talking about truly owning your in-game items and being able to trade them across different games and platforms. That sword you earned in one game? You actually own it, not the game company. The mind-blowing part? All of this happens through smart contracts, with no bank president, no CEO, and no traditional authority figure needed. Now let's talk about what's coming down the pike. Ethereum's development in 2025 is focused on three main areas: scalability, security, and sustainability. Currently, traditional payment systems like Visa can process thousands of transactions per second. Ethereum's working on several scaling solutions to compete with that. Recent upgrades have already achieved over 100,000 transactions per second in testing. That's faster than Visa. But let me be honest with you. Ethereum isn't perfect. The technology is complex, the user experience can be confusing, and transaction fees can still be high during busy periods. Many applications built on it are still experimental. However, here's what I've learned from watching technology evolve over the decades. The most important innovations often start out clunky, expensive, and hard to understand. The internet in 1995 was slow, difficult to navigate, and most people couldn't see why they'd need it. Ethereum in 2025 might be in a similar position, a powerful technology that's still finding its footing, with most of its important applications still to be discovered. Major companies like JP Morgan, Microsoft, and numerous Fortune 500 companies are already building on Ethereum-based platforms. That tells you something about where smart money thinks this is heading. Here's my take after watching this space evolve. Whether Ethereum becomes the world computer or gets replaced by something better, it has already accomplished something remarkable. It proved that blockchains can do much more than just move money around. If Bitcoin introduced us to the idea of money without banks, Ethereum is introducing us to the idea of applications without traditional institutions. That's a big concept to wrap your head around, but then again, so was shopping without going to a store 20 years ago. The question isn't whether you should invest in Ethereum. That's a decision only you can make based on your risk tolerance and financial situation. The question is whether you should understand what it represents, because the innovations happening on this platform are likely to influence how we interact with digital services for years to come. If you want to learn more about getting started safely with cryptocurrency, check out my comprehensive guide, Bitcoin and Beyond. Link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next time.